Welcome back. We're chiming with the spirits. We have a special guest with us. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Matthew.
My name's Jeff.
So we have Parachum, OG, Matthew, JD. We're about to take a shot to commence the first episode. I'm doing whiskey sour, which is the new black cherry. You guys are doing
the Devil's Devil?
Yeah.
Cinnamon whiskey?
Cinnamon whiskey. Yeah. And I've got Angel's Envy whiskey and Coke.
Cheers.
Strong in it. Just cinnamon flavor strong.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
I like it a little bit better.
It always worried me that it's like most alcohols, when you shake them, don't foam. But when you look at the bottle, it's foamy.
Well, I'm going to chase it down with some Buffalo Trace.
I'm doing some Jameson Black Barrel.
Mix the
I'm doing
blackberry
sugar
crown
ginger
sour
ale.
with tea again.
No.
Don't go too hard.
I'm back on my part.
Make it at least a 30-minute conversation.
I need to, yeah.
So, I know you want to start off just a little history. Matt and I have known each other for 20 plus years. 22 years. We worked together rather closely. Had a lot of adventures together.
We did.
But I thought you just told me you just turned 21.
No, that wasn't me. I think that's what I told my wife. But so we known each other for a long time. We just always
delivered furniture together.
We did. We always reconnect though.
Always.
Yeah.
Even years would go by. I mean, there's been 2 or 3 years where we didn't even.
Yeah.
I think this last time it had been.
Oh, absolutely. But you
2 or 3 years, and I called you or
you sent me a text.
Yeah, about your birthday.
Yeah.
I knew it was. I know because my oldest is December 19th,
and
so I always knew yours was right around there. So, and for some reason, you'd been on my mind, and I'm trying to do better at when shit comes to my mind to reach out, and respond. Yeah,
I got to put stuff in my phone to be able to remember that.
And the funny thing is, I just came across him the day before on TikTok. He had a video that he forgot he posted, and I responded to something that correlated with our work days.
Right. Yeah, and I saw it, and I had no clue what the fuck it meant or
who that was,
anything. And then I clicked on it and saw OG something, and I thought, is this Godsey? Maybe that's why you popped into my head.
I don't know, but you called the next day. I thought he was calling me because of that, but further from the truth.
I just wanted to wish you happy birthday because I knew it was pretty close.
And how cool is that? I mean,
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty badass.
I'm assuming you guys have known Dave for a while as well.
Yeah, a couple of years.
So, I mean...
6 or 7.
He's a good motherfucker. He always was.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, the thing that I respected the most about you was the kind of father you were.
Oh,
and I loved watching you with David and Brandon. And
thanks, man.
So
2 great kids.
It was always it was always something that always stuck with me.
Well,
so,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you did a good job because most kids nowadays are just evil shits.
Well,
and you've got some pretty good ones.
Well, and you know what? And you were hard on him.
I was.
But you also loved him. And it wasn't always hard. You also showed the loving side, which is what I believe is the way you should be doing that. And so,
well, thank you.
So that was something I always admired.
Well,
always, even when I was 22 and your kids were 5 and 6 going up to Norwalk and
and you were showing them how to shoot baskets. You worked with Little Day.
I didn't. You wanted me to. I
thought it was you.
Yeah, you wanted to hire me, and I'll be honest. I didn't trust. I didn't have any belief in myself in that I could teach somebody something, so I didn't want to.
I thought you worked with him on a shot. No. I really thought it was you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I came and watched him a couple times.
Yeah.
Chase Kaufman was the ref. Once he was in high school.
Yeah.
But I never did.
Yeah, and Chase Kaufman is he.
He was tight end at Ray Peck, and then went on to MU and played. And
then
went on to the NFL.
NFL for 12 years as tight end. Yeah. His dad's Paul
Kaufman.
I was
with the Packers.
Played with the Packers.
Yeah, it was Paul Kaufman. I didn't know that they were.
Yeah, people we've known for a long time. They live in our community, so
cool.
People we've known for.
But
we don't know that Matt was he was hell of a baller back in the day.
I was for my peer group.
Yeah.
I was good for my peer group.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, did you play at Mid-American Nazarene?
No, I always had a tendency of quitting things before I could succeed in it. So, here was my thing was, I think my love for basketball came because my dad, when I was younger, I told him I wanted to try out for basketball, and he told me, and rest in peace, Dad, I'm not trying to talk shit about
No.
But, you know, he was like, why would you even try? You're short and you're white. Like, you're not going to make it. And so...
Sounds like my dad.
And so I just... what drove me was to prove him wrong. And so...
Well, that reminds me of what the porn producer said to me when I tried out for a film.
I mean, you probably scared the girls with that hog of yours.
Well, I don't remember that.
I do.
This one got me married.
I've seen it. Well, yeah. That's why I'm not married. Because I don't have that hog.
Damn, maybe that's why I'm not married either.
Like Shane Gillis says, nobody fears my dick.
Yeah.
Unless it's a girl or a woman in a parking garage late at night.
Yeah.
Then she fears my dick. But otherwise...
Well, that's fantastic. And I didn't mean to interrupt your story about your daddy. I just thought I was...
No. I was just saying that.
Story about
I think
that.
that's why I was...
That's
and once I found out I was good enough to play... Granted, it was a small college, but once I found out I was good enough to play at that level, I was like, fuck you, Dad.
I'm good.
I was right. And
I was good, yeah.
The love kind of left at that
Fade
point.
away.
Yeah, because I'm like, I proved my point. And,
right on.
So no, to answer your question, I did not help Dave.
Okay, yeah. But again, he was a hell of a baller. He knew what he was talking about. And I just love the hell out of Matt. I always have. This is not like a bro fest, but we were put in situations that are normal situations for guys. We, like you said, we moved furniture together. It was always just you and I.
Always.
And it was always the biggest, heaviest fucking armoire you ever seen. That
and you never fucking drove. Oh, it would irritate me. I'm like, hey, will you drive this time? No, I don't. I'm not paid to drive. You motherfucker. Which is the truth, though.
True fact.
I was the driver. I was paid to drive.
No, I'm going to say that.
But I remember that, though. You would sit there with your paper and just, I'm over there looking at this motherfucker. And then I'm stuck in traffic.
I'm like, hey, dude, I said go by Quick Trip. I want to give me a sausage. You're like, oh, sorry, man. I must have forgot about that.
Fuck you. We're not stopping until I'm ready to stop. I'm driving.
So I have mad respect for that because, so when I moved recently,
your haunted apartment.
To my haunted apartment,
Okay.
Versus the
when I moved into my previous apartment, I was a lot skinnier. I was at my peak. I was 270. I was running marathons or half marathons. I can't fucking run a marathon.
That's impressive.
Half marathons. And COVID hit and some other family stuff.
Wasn't there a chair involved?
Chair.
You and somebody else
in
a chair?
Yeah, I sat in a cemetery chair that they're told not to sit in because it's called the Devil's Chair, and fucking 2 months later the world broke.
COVID hit. He had walking pneumonia, almost died.
Other guy that sat in it, our friend, broke his back, and maybe we shouldn't have sat in it.
Quadruple bypass.
Quadruple bypass.
I let myself go a little bit.
And then COVID hit. Yeah.
But I lived on the third floor, and I after moving in there, I made it a point to myself, I'm not moving in to an upstairs apartment ever again.
That's legit.
So when I moved recently, I hired some people to move for me because I had a 900-pound leather sofa with a steel pull-out frame in it.
We would have cussed you out the entire time.
Especially at the top,
agree.
At the top level.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
These guys showed up. I hope I don't get canceled for this, but 5'4" Hispanic gentleman, no more than $120. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, this thing fucking blows. Like, I don't know how you're gonna get it down the stairs. He, by himself, picked it up, threw it on his back, and carried it down in 2 minutes.
Well, that wasn't us.
And
that was not us.
I'm sitting here.
And we were in good shape.
I was about to say, yeah.
I tipped him afterwards. I tipped him $100 because I was like, that was the most impressive thing I have ever seen in my life. I don't know how you didn't break your back or fall through the goddamn stairs because they were open stairs and they were basically concrete, about this thick concrete slabs that they just put on little L joints.
Yeah.
So if it slid out, it would fall through. I don't know how he did it. And he's like, yeah, that was nothing.
He was a sleeper and everything? Like,
yeah. It was like
threw it on his back.
Threw it on his back by himself.
I wouldn't have even attempted that.
Yeah. There's some people that you're like that's just not right. But they
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking
people grabbing full refrigerators and just.
First thing that went through my mind was like, oh shit! Like the aliens caught me. I'm.
Speaking of which, maybe they've been following you a lot longer.
Ever since.
That's how they know
wrong
where the
alien
is.
though, right? We're talking about extraterrestrial.
It was the most impressive feat of agility, strength, coordination, and my stairs weren't straight shots.
Yeah,
I went up them many times.
Yeah, they were curved.
Really?
I don't know how he did it.
Fuck all that. I wouldn't. Yeah.
We
I would have looked at you and said, "We're not doing." I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
And I would have been fine with that.
Actually,
Like, I'm leaving the
pitch it off the balcony.
We did things that we never.
No, absolutely.
So we did that with some things that we didn't want to carry down the stairs because they were like 50 to 100 pounds. JD and I went and were like, "This stuff we're just gonna throw away."
Yeah,
I would chuck it over the end, and
he's like, half of it's trash. I'm like, just throw it out.
Right.
So that's what we did. He would stand down there, I would chuck it, make sure not to hit him, and then he would pick it up and take it to the
What
truck.
did I say? Work smarter, not
Harder, yeah.
So to this day, I don't know how he accomplished that. He may have died a couple hours later. I don't know. So I just have to say kudos because that's not an
There's
easy.
your attachment.
That's not an easy job.
He killed the poor bastard.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is
I'll tell you,
that's not an easy job.
We did things that, I mean, just like, good God, we'd be so pissed off at the designers. Like, what are you thinking?
There was do you remember that one in Shawnee? It had a long driveway. It was a new house, huge, and we had to deliver the entire house.
Yeah.
You remember that or not? It had a waterfall inside the house.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you walk in the house like you're like, I'm out of class.
Well,
Absolutely.
we get these solid armwars. We're thinking, good God, I hope it's right through the front door.
Right, and they rarely were.
No, they're upstairs in the last bedroom.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? What, lady? You have too much money. Where's your common sense? Armors aren't worth a shit these days, right?
Yeah,
You go to antique malls, they're all trying to get rid of them.
Yep.
Nobody wants them anymore.
No, fuck
Because they have to move them themselves.
I was about to
now.
say they're a pain in the ass to move if you ever want to get rid of it,
Yeah,
or if they move, or
yeah, you don't have
people don't take the shit out; they just taper it up.
You don't have OG and you don't have OG in the
pianos are free when you look at them. Oh, free piano. You got to move it though
every time.
Every time,
and everything is. My back is hurt. I can't help.
Oh yeah,
motherfucker!
Every husband in Overland Park had a bad back.
It doesn't matter if
Every
they look like
motherfucker.
Nazi or look like me now. Everybody's back.
Everybody had a bad back. Right.
Oh, my husband's. He just had back. I'm sure he did. Shut the fuck up. We'll get it.
Before you started working, there was a guy named Paul that worked there, and he had red hair as well, and he was a skinny little bastard like you were back in the day.
I wasn't ever skinny.
Well, you were fit though.
I was about 210.
Were you really? I didn't think you were that big.
200 to
and here that's skinny.
Well, that's not, I mean, I wasn't like
Because I was like 245 back
because
in the day.
no, you were bigger than
You
that.
think so?
Yeah, your arms were bigger than that back then.
Yeah, bless you.
So I'm
And then,
gonna.
of course, that hog you got in your pants is at least 25 pounds.
Shut up.
See, you're blushing because you know it's true. That's what it is.
So
Tell me I have a hog and watch my face. I bet I don't blush.
I got a little smoky.
Exactly.
me and Paul went to this single lady's house, and she goes, "Okay, who do I have to blow to have you move this chair in there?" And Paul looked at me with his eyes just full of, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Oh fuck no, man, let's get out of here!" This lady scared the shit out of me.
I'd been like,
I do remember that.
Here's what you want. If you don't want to get hurt, you do mine. If you want to be impaled, you choose his.
So this was me at my skinniest at 270.
You gonna post it on?
So you at 210? That's a beanhole.
I mean that look. I mean you look thin there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's 60 pounds more than 210.
Right,
Like,
right.
You had to have been skinny.
How tall are you?
6'5".
6'2". 6'2".
I'm 6'1".
I know you think I'm taller than that. I'm really not.
Dude, I'm 6 foot,
Yeah.
and I'm like the shortest one in the group every time. I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm 255, and I'm the smallest.
He's like, you used to ask me, "What are you, like 6'4"? I'm like, "No, dude, I'm 6'2". You're like,
I mean, all my kids are taller than me, but I just laugh because it's like we are hanging out, and like I'm not used to being the short one with everybody, and let alone the smallest one at 250. I'm like, this is,
This should make you feel good.
yeah, it makes me feel good. Maybe I'm a medium.
I'm average.
Like, I'm average versus an extra large, But I just think it's funny, like, because I don't think our viewers actually put that together. That I mean, they can tell we're big.
Yeah.
We're really big.
Like almost hit the ceiling big.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like like us three or the four of us walking down an alleyway, people would turn around and leave. I mean, that's
that's a nope situation.
That's
that's the one thing about Matt, though. I always say that how do you know your guy beside you? How much do you trust him? How much confidence do you have the guy you hang with? Matt would be a guy that I would walk down a dark alley with. That I knew no matter what you'd have my back.
Because after you guys take up half the alleyway, you don't have anything to worry about.
Well, most people, because he would walk without pants on, just seeing it dragging on the ground.
Or he would have shorts and hanging out.
We wore shorts a lot. We wore shorts a lot.
So. Like your belt's coming undone.
He's like, that's not my belt.
Yeah,
I can wrap it around you like a belt, but it's not my belt.
Okay, so look, the reason we got
we got to put pictures.
The reason we got
you're gonna have to expand the camera though.
The reason we got Wolf here, besides us reconnecting, which I just absolutely love that he's here.
So accurate.
Shut up.
There used to be some envy. Yeah. I wouldn't say angels envy, but there was definitely some kind of envy.
I was talking length.
No, okay, we're done. We got to go back to PG.
We're on late night.
Matt has what I felt was a very compelling story. Matt is new to the paranormal world and spiritual, and I think you have an interest a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
So these guys have not heard it, so we'd love for you to tell them what you've told me, and get the honest reaction out of them. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Before we get into that main subject for the episode, can we touch on what he brought up earlier?
Okay, yeah, as long as you're not touching me. Yeah, yeah.
I'm scared. I don't want to touch that. When we were talking earlier, Matt brought up a good topic that he would like for you to elaborate on a little bit. And
can we not roll into that? Do we have to? Okay.
No. I think it's an interesting topic because, being such a fan of Bigfoot and cryptids and all that, I just want to see his thoughts on that too, and I know he wanted to touch on it a little bit.
No, I was just curious what makes you feel that way, because I know you used to be a dog person. I don't know if you still are or not, but like
I got 2 bulldogs.
You still do? Yeah. Okay, I knew you used to have dogs, but like so when I heard you say that, I was surprised.
What exactly did you say?
I said because we were talking in one of our episodes, which you were alluding to, that animals don't have souls. Right. I said that.
Right.
I know we have a dear friend that thinks one day he will meet his animal in heaven, and he hopes he does. And God, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's true for him. No, animals do not have souls. I think it's biblical with me.
Okay.
And I got that, basically from my mother, who researched, studied the Bible. I think, I shared part of my life with you guys earlier before we started taping.
And thank you for that.
Oh, and you guys are 4 people that. 2 of 4 people that.
I was going to say, you just call us 4 people together. I'm like,
2 of 4 people.
I just brought that up.
Together, you guys are as big as 4 people.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's not what I meant.
10 Asians.
Yeah, there's a TikTok trend with Americans over Filipino. What the hell?
Yeah, they're like, oh shit, Bigfoot, Godzilla.
Yeah. So I got most of my belief from my mother. I never questioned my mother religiously, but no, man was to rule over kingdom and the animals and stuff like that. And man had a soul, and animals did not. That's why we eat animals and everything else. So that's where I get my belief from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know that dogs didn't before they were so? Dogs
before they were dogs.
No, they were not domesticated originally. They were predators.
Yeah.
Do you know what caused them to be domesticated?
Man, I think.
Well, what man did to cause them to be domesticated? Like even back in like prehistoric. That's wrong term, but back when men,
early men,
before houses and all that kind of stuff, and they had animal companions and whatnot, and they were still wild and they would attack even the people that they were companions to. It was the introduction introduction of carbohydrates as a primary food source.
Oh, breads?
Breads that turned them docile.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Grains and all that.
I read that. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense because when we eat carbs, what do we do?
Get
We're pretty docile.
I mean, we get lazy. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that
Well, you
that
don't,
kinda makes
you don't
sense.
have to go hunt it. It's just growing right there. You
Right.
just, you know.
It's
I just thought you would find
No,
that
I think it is interesting. That's
Yeah.
and what is this part of
We
your
just need to-
research and what from what you do and stuff like that? Is that part of it, or I mean, how'd you learn this?
I think I was listening to a History Channel podcast about something.
About domestication of animals.
I don't know
Because,
what it was.
I mean, well, I'll be honest. Like, I've watched a few because, like, cats, one of the first animals to domesticate themselves.
Yeah.
Figured out
Cats
if you
are-
hang out with us and their meows actually a mimic of a human.
Cats are dicks.
Yeah, well, they're assholes.
They are. I'm not a cat fan. Like,
I mean-
They're
I
just a
believe
roommate.
I mean, you know, I believe animals have souls myself, but
Okay.
like
Well, can you elaborate on that? What makes you think that?
for dogs, especially, the way they respond to people's other people's emotions. When you're sad, it always seems like my dog wants to come up and love.
Because
and-
you're that dog. You're that dog's everything.
absolutely
His whole
And
life.
so
Yeah, you're his whole life.
and I feel like if he didn't have a soul, he wouldn't be able to recognize those
You don't think
emotions.
so?
No, and so the fact that dogs can do that, and I'm sure cats do too. I just don't. I'm not a cat person.
Cat thinks you're there to serve them.
What's cool about cats, and this is getting off probably on something else.
No,
this is how it goes.
This is how we
roll.
This is it.
But they say that we as humans can only see and hear to a certain frequency. Cats can see and hear into a much larger frequency.
Same with dogs.
So they hear and they see things that we can't hear and see. So
And if you stare in their eyes, it sends you to hell.
Or get you
I
scratched.
thought that was in-laws.
That's what Keanu Reeves said.
Yeah.
in Constantine.
Well,
Yeah.
but they
But animals, dogs, and cats do have a tendency to pick up on
and so
paranormal activities.
right.
in
For
the
sure.
house.
And so they say cats come around to keep the evil spirits away.
There were- yeah,
So
there's
when
some
a cat comes
mythologies, yeah.
around like a stray cat, they're trying to keep away spirits, evil spirits. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay.
I have no clue. I've seen videos, and again, you got to take the videos for a grain of salt.
I've seen
but-
a house cat charge at a bear. I'm okay with a house cat because I don't think my dog would do that.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I mean unless it's
But that's-
trained to do that.
That's interesting.
But the video I saw was a cat, like, and the person was recording the cat, and the cat was just kind of looking up into nothing
Nothingness.
and kind of pawing a little bit. And the owner, was like, our dog just died like 3 hours ago, like. And so to me, I was like, well, that makes sense if they can see deeper
that
frequencies
is-
and hear other frequencies.
Oh, I
then
didn't
that
think
cat
about
could
that.
be seeing the spirit of the dog.
That triggers,
You
like,
know,
because there are
so-
some spirits that come across that are animalistic spirits. Like people hear cats or hear a dog.
we have seen videos of what seemed like a ghost dog or cat with a living being chasing it or following it or running away from it.
So-
I mean, we have seen that, right?
If you can have a spirit in the afterlife, is that a soul or is
Well,
that's an interesting
no.
concept. I didn't think about it like that.
And I got to take a page out of your buddy Jason's book. It's possible.
It's not
Yeah.
out of the normal possibility.
Probable.
Yeah, so it's possible.
I mean, we won't know until
That's well
we
said.
until we're over there, and odds are you're not going to make it back.
And you're probably not going to remember anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, like when we die, we're not going, in my opinion, in my belief, we're not going to remember this life. Our soul moves on to,
Sure, no doubt.
to whatever is next. Whatever we incarnate into next.
Well, because we know energy does not go away.
Right.
And so every living thing has energy.
Technicalities.
Your energy is always going to be right here.
Well, yes.
It's never
So,
going to move on knowing you.
according
It's
to
gonna be
our-
right
That's the
there.
smell.
Oh, well, that's
There's a difference.
no, I bleach the walls. It doesn't happen.
According to our current understandings and laws of physics, you are correct. But that's not to say that they are incorrect. I mean, you heard about recently, I mean, it was probably 2023 into 2023 where two teenage girls were told that, what was it? Pythagorean's theorem could never be solved by geometry or algebra or one of those two.
Okay, explain that.
I don't know.
Someone that don't know.
I was about to say that was another
theorem. Yeah, let's.
The Pythagorean theorem isn't that a squared plus b squared equals c squared?
Yes.
But it was always proposed that it could never be truly proven by, I think it was geometry, if I'm not mistaken.
Geometry is what actually uses
So I'm wrong. So it was probably
calculus
or one of those, and that's been the pursuit of everybody in mathematics for like hundreds of years. These girls actually proved that it could be. So for the longest time, for hundreds of years, it was known and accepted that this cannot be. And they were like, fuck you, the man, and did it. And did publications about it, and it upended the mathematical society. Like, holy shit.
Way above my head.
So what I'm saying is,
I'm not smart.
Political science.
So now we're
nothing with engineering or anything like that.
Under our current belief, you cannot create or destroy energy, but
that's not.
It doesn't mean it can't be shifted to a different plane.
Right.
Or
because it doesn't get created.
Or a different dimension.
Yeah. And that's what my point. That's where my point was going. If we are seeing
which
these,
could be heaven, could be whatever. Just
whatever different plane existence or whatever. But if we are seeing, which we have seen on camera, what seems to be a cat or a dog, a ghost, and I hate to say that loosely. What the fetch?
Tightly.
What the fetch? You know what are we seeing here? I mean, that's exactly what that is. My eyes are seeing this.
Or is it something mimicking a dog or a cat? Because that was the other belief in other things, that you're not talking to somebody, you're talking to something else that's mimicking.
That's to me, that's scary as shit.
I would rather believe in tightly pussy than loosely pussy.
Whoa!
I'm just saying.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, I could, but my wife will kick my ass, so I'm not going to say nothing. I can't respond.
So you were saying that cats were known to ward off evil spirits.
Yeah, if you have evil spirits around the house, strays will come around.
And that's why the witches were such they're familiars, right?
But that kind of contradicts what they say about, you run into a black cat, evil shit's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that's
a blending of paganism and that, because black cats, witches were known to have cats because cats keep away mice. Witches didn't get the bubonic plague because the cats were killing the mice that were spreading the disease. So they were healing people, never getting sick, compared to all these scientists and that were doctors were dying. And then the cat got associated with the witch as a bad omen. But in reality, there's other, like Egyptians believed they were like a dual plane creature, that they could see the other side and they were worshipped. Or they just thought they were really cute. But But there's a lot like that could literally, doing just cat mythos of over the years.
I think we have a new podcast.
That's a whole series, like probably multiple hours. You'd be more welcome.
Matt, we'd love to bring you in on that.
Sure. I don't know much
if you want to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So give a few days of research if you research. Sorry. What? I didn't say any names.
I pretty think that's a shot at me from the last episode. So I respond like "fuck you."
No, but
some people have to do stuff for a living.
Not doing research, we did pretty well with that subject.
What's this? I did research.
Talking about me and OG didn't do research. We did pretty well. Not having done research. I think we did.
This could be the first time on an episode that you got my back. So can we mark this?
But going back to the domestication with the introduction of carbohydrates and whatnot. Do you think that we could domesticate Bigfoot if we introduced that type of diet?
You give him a pot brownie, there's a good chance.
Dang.
I'm just saying.
I mean, any kind of weed.
Because when you look at...
The whole problem is they may already know it's natural in North America.
True.
It's just not as strong.
And I know naysayers out there are going to say, well, there's zoos all over the place with domesticated animals. That's true, but they're not fucking domesticated. They're still wild.
Yeah, they're fucking caged.
They're still feeding them meat, and if you step into their pen...
the lion.
Exactly.
Lion's den and...
Go pet them for a while.
Yeah. Let's go see how
that. Have we seen drunks and alcoholics hop cages?
Yeah, it never turns out well.
It didn't work out too
What
well.
do they say? Play stupid games,
Yeah,
win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
That's well said.
I mean, I'm not
That's
one
well
to
said.
say that's what you get, but it's kind of what you get.
Yeah,
I mean,
That makes me think of Vegas
you go
Vacation.
into a lot of games,
He's like, pick a number. He's like, 3. Nope. God damn it.
Okay, Daniel, hop on in there.
right?
Yeah.
So, no,
Which I don't believe happened, but
I want to get your guys' interpretation on that. Do you think that that's a plausible... I know the introduction of carbohydrates and...
Oh, we're talking about taming Bigfoot now?
Yeah, like, you would have to fucking capture it to be able to do that, to domesticate it. Like, you wouldn't be able to...
How well have we domesticated gorillas?
Yeah, silverback gorilla.
But we're still feeding them meat. When they're...
Well, they have to have meat because they have to have that type of protein.
But there are...
gorillas eat meat.
Dogs...
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they're-
thought they ate just.
Yeah, that's what
That's
everybody
always,
thinks.
that's always my
High
argument for.
Being a vegetarian.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
look, these silverbacks, all they do is eat
Oh,
that,
no.
and look how strong they
Oh, no,
are.
they eat meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a reason why they have
Yeah.
fangs. I mean, like, we played them up to be these nice, no,
You've seen
they're
Congo.
omnivores like us.
Right.
Like
Shit,
they'll
okay.
eat
You've seen
monkeys.
Congo, right?
So,
I'm not.
and I don't know who the lady is, and we could research, and people out there probably know. There was a lady
Jane Goodall?
that did some stuff with silverback gorillas,
Yeah, Jane
sign
Goodall.
language and
Oh, I
shit
thought it
like
was Sigourney
that.
Weaver.
Is that what the Gorillas in the Mist was about?
Yes,
Or- okay.
actually, yeah, Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
That was-
phenomenal.
I mean, they've taught they've taught these things how to do sign language to communicate
Yeah.
back and forth. I've seen videos of that shit.
Was it Coco?
Yes, absolutely, it's
was
absolutely
sad,
possible.
Sad about when she found out that Robin Williams passed away because Robin Williams
We
had been,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
but then that's gonna throw that soul thing all
I
out
was
the
about to
window.
say
Yeah.
that's another
Shit.
argument.
Communication isn't that some
Right.
sort of
Doesn't
intelligence?
mean you have a soul.
Wow.
What is a soul then? Like,
So do extraterrestrials have souls?
I
You have to
know.
shoot one first to figure it out.
I think everything has a soul.
That's
I mean,
Plant-
everything.
plants,
Yeah,
trees.
everything.
That's
I mean,
right.
because plants
That's a good
live. I mean,
That's a cool
they
thing.
live and they breathe and they, they're part of.
Is there a hierarchy of souls? Like maybe it's just a spark versus an essence versus a whole
Full autonomy.
Because like
I mean, that's a great question.
compared to like maybe when we all go and are all souls supposedly depending on what religion go together, go back to the one which is God. Maybe we're all just different levels of pieces.
So throw it one further. Does planet Earth have a soul? Gaia.
That's a good question.
Mother
too.
Earth.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Did I say the wrong term?
No.
No, he's just
I know
putting
you-
it in
I
a
was just
phrase for
being more
it.
simplistic.
okay.
where
I think
Galaxy
every
could understand.
living thing has a soul.
That's amazing.
I think we are all
every living
connected,
thing.
and maybe that is the connection. I mean, there's
I believe Buddhists think that way. Am I wrong?
Because you
I
could
don't
go
know.
even one further. Do elements,
I'm not
do atoms have souls?
we're all made of stardust.
Yeah.
My history of being growing up in the church and
Yeah.
being very religious. I don't believe in religion anymore. Like I just don't think.
That's
I don't think.
Well, when you say religion, are you talking about
organized
the
religion.
organized church religion
Yes.
versus the words?
I don't believe. I question how
The words?
real the Bible is too. If that's what you're meaning when
Yeah,
you say the
So
words.
I have the same exact problem, and can I elaborate?
Well,
on
it's not a
this?
problem. No.
No.
No, I mean, no. You can absolutely tell them how you feel.
So, Ellenwood, Kansas. You've been there.
Yeah.
That's where I spent the majority of my childhood from, I think, like...
Oh, it's all making sense now.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. First grade to fourth grade, and then I went to Osawatomie for fifth and half of sixth, but then I came back to finish through eighth grade. Well, when I was a little kid growing up there, small town, like I think just maybe a little over 1,000 people, maybe more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Small town. My dad was the city manager. Like he'd
Yeah.
gotten the job and came there. First off, I'm an outcast because I'm a new person in this small Midwest town that's only a square mile.
I understand that.
Not the most popular person because I'm a newbie. Throw in that my dad was a city manager and politics. People didn't really like his decisions because they were going against the grain of how things have been done for so long.
Yeah.
I wasn't well known and liked. Like I had friends and everything, but I always felt like kind of the
Outcast.
off one, and that may not be true. That's just how I felt.
Well, your perception's reality. in your
for
life.
me, yeah. It is.
For everybody.
Yeah.
So my mom was Methodist, and so in my second grade year, my parents divorced, and it really didn't affect me because my dad was always gone, the military, and all this other stuff. So it's like nothing new. But I always went to church with my mom on Sunday mornings. She was the early morning organist. So I would go at like 6 a.m. and we would stay all day, type of thing. But then my dad wanted me to go through catechism. So I'm going through being a Methodist with my mom to having to go through catechism. Well, that splits reality for groups of children. Like, why is he going to that and why is he here? Like, even more of an outcast type of thing. And then I didn't like catechism because they were kind of mean and dicks and like wasn't
Organized
really.
religion
I was forced to go to it, so I really didn't want to be there to begin with, type of thing. Does that make sense? So I had like this dichotomy of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, type of thing.
Catechism is Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It sucks. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
They're touching little kids.
Very strict. Like you had to learn and memorize phrases and it was horrible. So that kind of split me even more, and I kind of lost like passion for even wanting to go to church or believing in anything, because I'm learning these beliefs and then I already had these beliefs and I'm like, I don't know if fucking real anymore, like type of thing. So
well, as a child, that can be really confusing.
So
without any someone guiding you a certain direction, I mean,
so when I
that way.
Got the choice, my mom finally asked me one time, she's like, do you want to go to church anymore? And I was like, is this serious? Like, I was like, no. And she's like,
yes, it's a trap.
I can understand that. And so I stopped going to church.
How old were you?
When I stopped going to church, I think I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
And I was given that choice. I wasn't forced to go. But then later on, doing stuff like this and whatnot made me really question, like, is there even something up there, type of thing. So that's where as JD has put it, my problem with religion, I have a hard time separating organized religion from religion as a whole because of the experiences that I had to go through.
There's a difference.
And I hope I'm not touching.
No. And I know we really need to. I'm like, let's stay out. That way we don't insult anybody out there or anyone here, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to talk about paranormal. But I think there is a difference between organized religion and spirituality and one's beliefs. So
yeah, no. They're literally separate, and that's where a lot of people. We're in a field that generally, like, probably 65 to 75% of the people that are in the paranormal are probably atheists. They don't have a
or agnostic.
Or agnostic.
Yeah, because I believe there might be something there, but I don't know what it is because I don't have proof of it.
Right. And I'm very similar. I'm not a very religious person. I don't have to worry about my faith. I've had my conversations with who I need to have conversations with. I've been turned off from organized religion because of the people. Man is flawed. And that's why when you get into the book, some of it is hard to believe. Some of it speaks right to you. And you're like, oh, that, and everybody has to interpret your way.
The Bible's it's a great story. I mean, the stories are amazing. Like,
I'd be honest. The Old Testament to me is more believable than some of the stories in the New Testament.
Right.
But I also before my mom passed away, they converted over to Mormons, and then I read that book, and that's an interesting book in itself, and the whole story of that. So, when you get into any religions, it comes back to your faith, what you believe, and how you feel. And most people have had that experience at least some point, that they've had that complete calmness and overwhelming peace. That's generally, to me, what most people don't realize. That's the calming effects of whatever you're thinking of that created. We've all experienced it. Just how do you put it in what boxes one would say? Is that religious? Is that a spiritual thing? Or is that just nature saying I'm good? So, it's hard to say any of the books are 100% because of how old they are.
How many times they've been translated?
Yeah, well, I mean,
by man.
Yeah,
I told you
Ken's
about
James
my calming
version.
feeling that I had
Right,
in that dream.
There's thousands of versions.
And that circuit chord.
I've never felt that way before, and I don't know if it's just like everything was on my mind, but that feeling that I had in that dream was just like I was floating in a desalinized lake, just floating there, not able to sink, no cares in the world. Like, I was just like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, it was otherworldly. Like, it just, I don't know how to explain. It was like sensory deprivation, but with what do you call it? The sense that aromatherapy sense going through me, that I was just like, fuck the world. Like,
he's all relaxed.
How'd that affect you when you woke up?
It was weird because then I realized I was back in the world, and I was like, fuck the world.
But did it change anything about how you... Maybe you were going through something at the time, or there was something in your mind that...
There was. There was always something going on in
Yeah.
his mind. But I think it did have an impression with you.
It did.
What happened the next morning to you. So, I mean, which you don't have to share with anybody.
It
did affect you.
Yeah. It made me think that something was sending me a message.
Right.
Versus something answering directly to you with lights. I'm just...
Sounds like another shot towards you, but...
That's that's very fair. I can't argue that one, right?
I'll be honest, now we're talking about this, that
I've seen more signs than anybody should, and I'm still...
No, but I've seen it a tick up. Like you said, we mentioned before, I was on an investigation with him in Ellenwood.
When you say, okay.
Paradigm. It's the first time I've ever had anything reference back that you should pray.
To the questions.
To the questions that I'm like, because usually, like, most of the time when you're doing EVP sessions, or we're doing a REM pump session.
Set it up for him.
Yeah, so I don't know much about that.
So here, the K2 meter.
Yeah, the K2 meter, it's a bigger version of that, and it's lights.
I
like that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was lighting up. I wasn't paying attention.
So as the lights go, the more intense it gets with your EMF field. So like as you get
magnetic field?
Electromagnetic field.
That's correct.
So what theory is that ghosts get near it, they can vary the lights, manipulate it, and light it up. And you have to be careful because, like, if you get next to an AC unit, when the motor kicks on, your phone sends a transmit. Like, if you
but there's a limited space with the phone. Which we found out.
So this REM pod does the same thing. It also has an antenna, so if you put your hand around it, it'll light it up because it's detecting energy and something near it. Well, you can ask questions, and if you have something that's intelligent, it will start lighting it up as you ask questions.
Almost like a Ouija board.
Yeah, almost like a Ouija board.
And I don't know why I put the
you know what?
but no one's touching it. It's literally this electronic device.
Same concept.
It'd be like you holding that, and all of a sudden the lights start going forward. You're getting answers from what you don't know.
Gotcha.
Normally, in most stuff I've dealt with and researched, once you go into the realm of you're asking about religious things, doesn't matter what religion, just religious after death, they usually just stop. Like, all activity ends until you change.
That's an unspoken conversation.
Like we're not... They're not
supposed to... They can't communicate to the live or the living.
Which there's some kind of law on the other side that we're not going there.
And I've heard that before from things that,
which kind of leads towards, well, then there's got to be rules. Somebody had to make rules, and then you get into other things. Well, recently, it was last year, it literally...
In a Catholic rectory.
Right there. That's what we're talking about.
Should not be doing that.
Interesting.
Stop that, please.
What does that mean? It means something's here?
Well, it means we're picking up some kind of interference, some kind of magnetic field, whether it's close to you or whatever. But
is it the microphone, maybe?
Maybe you got magic junk at his point.
I feel like I have what are they called?
Can you turn those lights off for us?
Sorry, the signs
spirit
blocking
guides.
it.
I couldn't think of the word. I feel like I have spirit guides with me most times.
Do you really?
I feel like I do, yeah.
Okay, well,
Can you light those
I'm not
lights
saying
back
that's
up?
what it
no. But,
But, I mean-
that's important.
It's not lighting up right now. And this is a phenomenon I've ran into. When the camera can't see it, or you're not observing it, you're like kind of paying attention. It starts going nuts, and the minute you try to film it,
there it is.
Can you please stop that?
it just stopped.
So this is called an EMF.
It's K2, and we've debunked it because like if you take a phone and put near it a light, there's nothing
No.
unless you're sending a transmission out.
Jesus.
See right there, I'm probably picking up your speaker,
Your RF, yeah.
but it's got to be that close.
Okay.
So this would be your second paranormal experience.
Yeah.
But I just realized, we've been doing this.
Thank you for demonstrating.
Yes, thank you for
thanks the
lighting up
demonstration.
and then stopping.
Yeah, can you light them up again for us, please?
As we're talking about this, we've been doing this, 6 years?
I've been doing it.
Well, no, I meant together.
Oh, yeah.
About 6 years. It's kind of accumulated more and more on things that I've never seen, like on the religious, like religion comes up more often. Because normally most people don't talk about it. The three of us have different beliefs.
Those conversations are so interesting. I love those conversations.
But I've noticed on the supernatural side of our investigations, I'm seeing more things that I'd never seen, or responses talking about the other side, which is kind of interesting to me, which now it's not.
Well, and you brought up a good point, the filming. Like, once you look at it and film it, there's actually a scientific theory behind that, the double slit theory.
Yeah, when you observe it, it's
where if
normal.
you observe it,
if you don't observe it, it does not behave. Okay.
Physics.
Yeah, you saw my face.
Yeah, so there is an experiment where they
said.
shot protons through two slits, and it's been proven that if you're observing it, it does two slits, protons line up.
Okay.
If you don't observe it, it splays out like
no pattern whatsoever.
No pattern whatsoever. Until you turn and look at it, then it focuses back in. The reason why that's very significant, that is what people are now starting to push towards, is this a simulation? Because observed, it works in a certain way. Unobserved, it doesn't align with any known physics.
Interesting.
Why I rolled this up, because it seemed like every time Matt kicked the cloth, it was creating static electricity, so that's what I thought I was feeding it.
The cloth
Did that help out?
But since I rolled it up, it did not help.
Well, actually, we didn't try. Just hold on to that for a little bit. Well, you said you thought you had guardians. What, like when you say that, what do you?
Spiritual guide.
Spiritual guide,
Yeah.
like somebody that talks to you or just gives you little hints in your head to budge you one way.
I think that's what
That's
those are. Is that feelings that you guys get, that we all get, where it's like
you feel intuition or whatever.
right, I should be. Oh, this doesn't feel right, or you should. Why don't you wait 5 minutes?
And flip it around. That way the camera can see it.
Why don't you leave 5 minutes later, or something happens?
Or maybe you need to go now.
Or whatever it may be.
Okay.
It's funny now that the camera is observing it, it's not going off.
I feel like those are your spirit guides protecting you.
Okay.
Or,
Do you think they're past family members? Do you think they're just people that look over you over the years?
I do. I never used to believe that. I also, for just...
Yeah.
I'm not... I don't really believe in heaven or hell.
Can you flip it around again for a minute?
Keep on talking.
I don't really believe in heaven or hell like I used to. I believe, you just kind of... throughout life, and your energy and your spirit goes somewhere else, and you do something else.
Is it lighting up?
Yeah.
Once the camera's not observing it, it lights up. Once you turn it around the other way, it stops.
Now, what's the... Why? Like, what's the science behind that?
We don't know.
Or not the science, but what they say.
So the theory behind this is...
It's working.
It's now it's shown up. So the theory behind it... Yeah. Well, we could try a new battery.
Or
we have
you
another
can
9 volt.
get your millimeter out and put it up at the REM pod to see if it goes off.
It's over there, I think, somewhere.
I'll grab it. The theory behind it is it's something intelligent reacting with the device, meaning when nothing's observing it, it will make it light up. The minute you can try to observe it and prove it, it stops.
Gotcha.
And that's why
because they don't want to be proved.
Yes. So there's an intelligence.
It makes you have to believe it.
Just like why we can't capture Bigfoot, because it doesn't want us to capture it.
I mean, it could be.
I just threw it.
It's possible. No, it's not. I'm borrowing Jason's because I like it because I've been closed-minded. If I don't believe it, I don't believe it.
So that one's different. That's a static electricity detector. So if it senses static electricity in the air, it'll light up.
This is going crazy.
So
now.
yeah, it doesn't. So to see it light up to red is
really
a
unusual.
rarity.
Yeah,
that's a very high EMF.
You don't want kids anymore, right?
I've got 3 of them. I'm good.
Okay. So the red around you, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, literally the red is a very strong, usually magnetic field. Like you get it off like an AC motor.
There you go.
Kicking on.
But is this too far for that?
Yeah, this isn't kicking on.
Okay. Under that thing.
Yeah, we have to turn it off.
Yeah, you really do have to talk to me like I'm 7 years old.
No. That's
no. Because I don't understand any of the science behind that stuff. I know what I believe and what I feel, and that's what I go off of. On stuff like that.
That is probably 99% of the best way to do it. Because
it's picking up 11, 12,
1.2,
13, or 1.3, 1.4. That's
so
pretty high.
Notice it picks it up when my hand gets near it.
But it's picking up 1.4 milligal. That's pretty strong.
We'll just see where it levels out at, and then we'll know. But
now it's going down.
Well, let's go back with the Guardian
Go back
Spirits.
to the story.
Yeah.
Tell them why they answered because we left that in the middle.
During this investigation, somebody else asked, "Should Parachum be praying to God?"
This is in
Ellenwood. This is so the story. Well, I mean, there's going to be an episode on this at some point from another show. We don't want to go too much. But we were in a rectory where the priests used to stay for a Catholic, old Catholic church. This is where the house is where they stayed at. And we were getting responses that seemed to be from a priest. Because he's flat out said, Parachum, yes, you should pray. And then you said, are you sure?
I was like, does that mean I should believe? And then it went
Fort Rimpod all the way to red. And then somebody else brought up
and it hasn't done that all night.
Hadn't done that all night, let alone go to red. And they said the only time they ever had to go to red was at was it the Stanley House, like right there.
That's rare. That's really fucking weird.
What if you will do?
Ooh. So we're talking about you, and we're talking about.
I'm not the most special person in the room anymore. Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Well, you'll always be special.
Thank you.
Thank you. I need to get you guys some helmets.
For chess?
Yeah.
It's not doing anything with me.
Just wait.
But you can keep talking.
So
that's going.
I've noticed
all you're doing is answering and
it's literally answering them. That you should believe, you should pray, and that I have never, like I said, on all the investigations, all the research, and all that I have done, that it just shuts down. That you don't get that type of stuff, and it threw me off.
So can I ask you a question, Matt?
Yeah, you can. I'm
Do you want Matt or Matthew, or does it matter?
I don't care. I mean, I go by Matthew.
Do you wear?
People, but I don't care.
Do you wear watches?
Nope.
That's very.
Can you wear a watch?
I mean, I can. If
does it drain the battery? Is what he's saying. Do you have electronics like if you're on you? Do you drain?
They drain fast, like your phone or something like that.
I mean, I don't know how fast compared to others. I guess I don't know.
Because that is a rare.
It's your phone.
That's a rare phenomenon that people have.
The odds of it picking up over here that far away from them, and also when you asked it to shut off and it shut off. Is it still on? Is the green light still on?
It hasn't moved.
So maybe you're not the only one with the chat attachments.
But
are you a friend of Matthew's? Are you the one lighting it up? Are you a friend of Parachums? You like following around and looking at stuff? Please don't.
Interesting.
Maybe it's my dad.
Are you a friend of OG's? Hanging out?
I have no friends.
Oh, that's not true.
We're not supposed to investigate people's houses.
We're not investigating people's houses.
No, we're investigating Matt.
Can you, if you are attached to me, can you light that up?
We literally brought you into a minor investigation.
Nice.
They said this is your second supernatural event because, like, we can't. So all the stuff that we're trying to put out, and that is trying to debunk why that would light up like that. Because that's not normal. Like, usually, you'd have to have a radio. I mean, there's ways to fool it.
Right.
Like, if I had a directional antenna, I could do a transmission on it.
Now, let's see.
It went off on my phone, yeah.
So where was your phone the whole time?
Right here.
Okay.
Inside my hoodie.
Then move it, put it on the table, see if it still lights up.
Can you put your phone on airplane mode real quick for a minute? I'm just curious.
Let me see how to do that.
It should just be a little airplane symbol.
There.
Okay. Just leave that on for a few minutes and see.
Okay.
Is there something
what phone do you get, by the way?
The S24 Ultra Android.
Damn, Richie.
Yeah, right.
It's like a book.
I've got the Motorola G shit.
So we'll just keep on.
We'll just keep it up, but it seemed like when he had the phone on him,
yeah,
that's the first. That's
and
the
then
first
when I took it away,
I've never seen it that far away.
I've never seen.
And the mel meter still says 1.4.
It is. I think that's the basic reading.
No, because it's down to 1.3 now. It went down to 1.1.
I think that's gonna be a constant read for this room.
Okay.
1.2 to 1.4.
Is there something attached to me? Did you follow me here?
Why would the lights go off when he asked when it was on the table?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe it's Siri. Not Siri. What's Android? Alexa. Maybe Alexa's listening to us, and that was it.
Fucking Alexa.
Anyway, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with part 2.
Because we have a story to go through.
Yeah, we have.
We have more.
It would actually go, because you were talking about your dream. It would actually go well as a good lead-in, but
oh, good.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back after these quick break thingies from these people.
Hey, we can stand up. Be safe. Dude, that's an awesome shirt. Where'd you get it?
Yeah, man. This is my favorite new podcast that I've been listening to, Chumming with the Spirits. They talk about paranormal, drink whiskey. It's pretty badass. You should check it out.
Where can I check them out at?
You can check them out on cwtspodcast.com. They actually have our shirts for sale. They've got really cool drinking gear. It's pretty awesome. If you like to drink and you like to talk about ghosts and Bigfoot and crap, I highly recommend checking them out.
Well, whoever did that logo is probably pretty cool.
Yeah. Go check them out.
Hey, welcome back to Chumming with the Spirits. I'm here with Parachum, the Ledge, JD, the philosopher that can understand what we're trying to say and put it in words for me, and a good old buddy of mine, Mr. Wolf, Mr. Matt.
And you.
And, there's OG, and a lot of people don't understand what that means. It's not original gangster, it's old guy. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I always thought it was original Godsey.
Well, because everybody calls my kids Godsey.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I started calling I'm the old Godsey.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you're pretty much on there. So here's to you guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, they get shots, I get a fucking chugger. I don't know if I can do this.
We're doing it by ounce per pound.
You okay there?
Damn, did you just hear that?
I say something wrong?
Amount of shot per pound? So you give me the most?
About 44 ounces. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
All right.
You don't have to do all of it. Just a little bit.
I was trying.
I haven't seen you choke like this since the gay parade.
I was.
Just damn.
I was gonna take it, and then he made me laugh while it was down my throat.
How many times have you heard that?
A lot.
How many times have you heard that?
To be fair, I've never been down to someone's throat. It normally stops halfway past
At the old philosophy part? Okay.
I may
get
get some of the taste buds in the back.
I wasn't expecting you to say that, and it's like, I don't know what to do.
Hey, take it. That's like a $75 glass. That's from 1972, I think.
It's older than you are.
Oh, shit, it is.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's older than me.
Older than me.
Yeah. That's 73. Born in 73.
Wow, that is
I
strong.
can't believe my wife's older than you.
I don't believe that either.
Well, when she first started as a nurse, people would say they thought she was the girl that kind of helped out the nurses. What do they call candy striper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, honey, would you go get my nurse? She goes, I am your nurse. Because she did. She looked like she was 16.
I thought she was your daughter when I first met her.
Whoa! True story. We're at a baseball game. Brandon's playing out in Texas. Sitting with my wife, and a lot of the women didn't know who my wife was because she was always working. We're there, and we're talking, and they go, "Oh, is this your daughter?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" My wife loved it. Yeah, I was pissed off. Yeah. I was like,
right.
No.
She is very young looking. I mean, let's be fair. You know,
for sure. You okay?
No, that fucks me up.
Words hurt.
Everything burns.
Well, see what you can handle, man.
You know what'll help with that?
More.
Oh yeah.
It helps everything.
So hey, anyway, yeah. So we're with our friend Matt and talking about a lot of different things. Did we want to stay with a certain topic, or we want Matt to roll into a story? Because I think you said you had something.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about the dream that he had, and so I figured this would be a good
segue. Ropes.
Thank you, segue.
Isn't it a little
podcast talk? So just a backstory on this. My girlfriend, her son, was a drug addict. He lived with us. Me and him really didn't see eye to eye too well. Like, we just didn't gel. We didn't mesh. A lot of it was how he was, and a lot of it was shit I was going through in my life at the time, and not knowing how to handle certain things. But there was about a year he moved in with us. He overdosed. I'm just going to get that out there. He overdosed. So about a year before he overdosed, he moved in with us. And we started to get along a little bit better. We were able to have good conversation and about spirituality and real life shit. He had some demons from his, from earlier in life, which was a lot of the reason why he was a drug addict. So he overdosed and fentanyl. Boy, that shit's...
wow, it doesn't take a whole lot.
No, it doesn't. And so I carried some guilt, because, not that it was my fault by any means. I mean, he was an addict before I knew him. I truly feel like I was placed on this earth to love people, to make people feel comfortable around me, and so I felt guilt for not doing that better with him. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, things you could have done better.
Right. I could have showed him that he was wanted and he was loved. And but one night, it was probably, I'm not 100% sure when, 3-4 months maybe after the fact, I was sleeping, and and these are the, like I was saying earlier about
lucid dreams,
and like there's been dreams in that normally my dreams I wake up and I'm having to.
Can we take a step back? So you actually found him?
Yeah, me and her daughter, my girlfriend's daughter, his sister. We hadn't seen him in a few days, but he was 30. He came and go, he's coming and going, and he stayed in the basement, and he liked to keep to himself for the most part. And so a few days went by, and we hadn't seen him, and we were like, have you guys seen Garrett? Like, me and his sister were talking. And so she was like, well, I'm gonna go in there and check on him. He didn't like it when people came in to his space, but so she went down and she came back out and she was like, I need you to go. I don't like the way his legs look. Like, she didn't go all the way in. She kind of saw the way his legs looked, however they were laying, and she didn't like it. So she came out and told me I need to go check on him. I went in there and he was dead. So yeah, I guess me and her both as a unit found him, but yeah.
Yeah, I just want to tie that into your story. That's all.
And so, okay, no, absolutely, no, 100%. So, I don't know, 3-4 months later, I was dreaming. I was asleep, obviously, and
that helps.
I was in a room. It almost kind of seemed like a nursery, if you will. Like I don't know why, but it's. Anyway, I felt something in my dream, so I turned around, and it was him, and he was walking towards me, and I remember thinking in my dream, It's almost like this Inception shit where you're 2 levels deep. And I was thinking in my dream, I remember thinking in the dream, you're dead, you're not supposed to be here. Like, what's going on? And he came up and he hugged me. No words were said, nothing. He just put his arms around me and embraced me. And instantly, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that? Because I had never felt something like that before. Like, I'd had lucid dreams where, you're like, oh, that felt real. Like, but this one, I felt the emotion of everything, and it in a way, it felt like he was telling me, his spirit was telling my soul, his soul, my soul, we're good. Like, stop carrying this guilt with you. Like, it's not,
not your fault.
Right. It's not like we're fine, is what it felt like. And since then, I mean, I'm telling you, the morning I woke up, have never felt guilt about it again. I felt at peace at where he was, and so that was a hell of a dream. Wow. And I don't know. Maybe part of me thinks sometimes, well, that's just my way of
your brain
of wanting to not, like, I don't want to feel guilt about it, and it kind of created it. But I truly believe that was his soul coming to me because of the lasting impression it's had, to where, like, instantly, I felt at peace about me and his relationship and where he's at in life, wherever he went, Like, I don't believe in heaven or hell, but I know that me and him always had good conversations towards
the other
the
side
end.
Or whatever you want to
Yeah, he always wanted to find out what happened next. And so, for some reason after that, where it felt like he was saying, I'm good. Like, I got, we're good. I'm good. This other side's, and so everything has been good. I mean, like, it fixed it.
And you've been at peace ever since.
Ever since.
Yeah,
and you know me, I have a huge heart. Like,
yeah. You do.
I take on things that I have no business taking on.
Yep.
I understand that.
And so this, I didn't feel, like I said, I didn't feel responsible for him overdosing. He was a drug addict. I wasn't around when he started doing drugs. That's...
Yeah.
However, I didn't show him enough love when he was here. So that was the guilt
was always in the back of your mind.
Yeah, and that was the guilt that I carried.
Sure.
You're not, you are here for a purpose in life, and I let him down in that. But since that dream, like, it's done. Like, I don't have that guilt. Like, it was crazy. It's the most vivid dream.
Have you had anything else similar to that?
Not a thing. Like.
So, can I ask a couple of questions?
No. You can ask as many as you want.
Don't be careful what you ask.
Yeah, part one.
No, I'm an open book.
Yeah, part one of my trilogy. Did anyone else in the house experience anything with guilt? And
yeah.
Did they experience anything supernatural?
According to my girlfriend, no. I haven't had conversations with his sister about that stuff. But I know she was the first one. Like, when I woke up, she woke up. I was like, bro, like, this fucking thing, like. And she hasn't experienced anything like that.
So you actually talked to her about
that?
Oh,
100%.
Because I would ascertain in my thought process.
Ascertain.
Quit
using $6 words.
That would mean more to me because he came to me,
right?
Yeah.
As opposed to anybody else.
I feel bad about it because I know
I wouldn't.
Because I know how much guilt his mother feels, and so, like, I kind of feel bad for her. Not guilty. Guilty was the wrong word. I wish she could have an experience like
closure
that, so she could
heal and
move
on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine you ever move on when you lose a child.
Yeah. But the
thankfully, I have not had to deal with that. Yeah. Like,
but that means he cared. In my opinion, that means he cared more.
Not more.
Not more, but more than you realize about your relationship with him.
It could be, and I think maybe that he knew that's what I needed.
Yeah.
Maybe like soul wise.
Yeah.
And so, and maybe her time and everybody else's time is coming. You know, I mean, on the other side, time isn't how we look at time.
Sorry, I just got a dark thought. He's like, well, he's not going to make it where I'm at, so I better go say he's good now.
And you know what? That could very well be. I mean,
you're on different paths,
right? I mean, and so I think we all get what we need from our spirit guides if we are open to it. I mean,
you could also look at it because we've had discussions about this, that if he is on another plane of existence in another dimension or whatnot, he may have gone. He came to you.
Right.
May have next step going to his mom. In his reality, wherever he is at now, it was only 2 or 3 minutes, but time doesn't work that way, and he hasn't gotten to her yet.
Right.
Because you've talked about that a lot. Time has no.
Time is a thing that we created.
Yeah. So, have you ever seen the movie Lucy?
No.
With Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman. She takes this drug and she's able to unlock the potential of her mind, and she gets to like 100%.
Like Limitless with Bradley Cooper?
But
way different. But yeah, similar.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's trying to
like
explain
same drug, but she overdoses on it.
Okay.
Yeah, she tries to explain human existence in terms of measurement, and the way we think about it right now is time. Time is a unit of measurement for understanding our existence, and she shows a video, like, from her mind. She's projecting a video of a car going down a road, and it gradually speeds up, but it speeds up so fast that you no longer see the car. And she's like, this proves that time is non-relevant when it comes to a unit of measurement, because you can speed time up so fast that it no longer exists.
Right.
So that's where I was going, in a very weird way. That for him, it may have been 2 minutes for him to get to his mom, but
here it feels like 13 years or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and it may not have happened yet.
Right.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
I also think it takes the right type of person to be able to feel to accept that sort of
Absolutely. Well, that's what I was thinking.
A medium?
He's as sensitive as you are.
Empath?
You're kind of sensitive. Yeah, I think you are.
I'm emotionally driven more so than logically driven. So I mean,
I think you have in my opinion, I think you have some capability of being able to touch to the next side.
He's an extra large.
Yeah, he's not a medium.
I'm a 5X.
He's not a medium.
I'm a 5 or 6X large.
He's not a medium. So I do think you have some ability, and I just
I'm starting to accept that.
Be more open to it.
So, yeah, because I never used to be ghosts, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that's stupid.
No.
But as I became more, as I left religion and became more spiritual, more open to those type of things, it's I don't know how to explain it, but it feels right. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally.
I don't know how that. I don't know how to articulate exactly what I'm trying to say, but it feels accurate. Like it feels like it's the right path, opposed to growing up in the church.
Yeah, almost forced.
Being told to believe a certain way. I had those moments in the church, like you were talking about, where anybody can have that feeling of.
Yeah,
like
the presence,
a peace, if you will, or the presence of something. And in my mind, anybody can have that if everybody around you is doing the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Then we're all gonna feel that same
global consciousness.
If that's what, if that's what that is, yeah, I don't know.
There's when people's minds get together, chanting whatever prayer. Your minds can actually sync in the same wavelength.
100%.
And that becomes, you become like one unit. The calmness goes across everybody.
I completely agree with that.
Because everybody then is thinking very similar. You're at peace. It's very calming.
Which makes sense because when everybody's together saying the same shit, everybody is receiving that because it's
yeah.
I don't know. But since I and I know you said earlier that you didn't question what your mom said religiously. So what I'm about to say is not a jab. When I started thinking for myself, and I'm not saying you don't think for yourself or other Christians don't. Like I'm not. I started to. That's when my mind started opening up to the spiritual realm, and then that's when it started feeling right. And like
I think with, and I'll just jump in real quick.
I look over and JD's just doing this. I'm like, what the fuck?
Stop it, man. Stop it.
You can do that.
I think you can have
$20.
I think anybody close-minded, they're like, no, religion's this is the way it's going to be. And, I think you're setting up too many walls that way. I think one can exist with the other. Actually, because either that or I'm just the biggest freaking anomaly out there.
Yeah, and how can you say one can exist and the other can't?
Right. I don't think you can. Because I really think at the end of our lives, the end of our existence here on Earth, our flesh bodies, that we're all trying to achieve the same goals, but we're all just taking different paths or going up different sides of the mountain to achieve what we're trying to achieve.
What are those goals?
Free love and drugs.
Everyone's different. Well, to me, it to me is eternal life, being with God, being with my Maker, being with my parents, and having a good life. Now, that doesn't mean I don't believe in reincarnation, because I think we've all tapped on that. I absolutely think that's very plausible.
Except animals.
And I think the other side could be my heaven. Like, okay, I'm going to another plane of existence. Okay, Matt, that's great. I want you. Doesn't mean that's not what the heaven is for me.
Right.
So I think it depends on your perspective. Am I making sense? Does
Yeah,
it make
yeah,
sense?
absolutely sense.
I think it helps if everyone's got the same definition of what something is, because you could say heaven, and in my mind, growing up in the church, as heavy as I did, heaven is someplace
In the clouds.
up in the clouds with
many mansions.
with sidewalks of
Gold
gold,
and clouds. And
some guy who's just walking in this, Jesus, the way they make Jesus look with the.
I was thinking about Thor.
To me, that's
that's Valhalla.
When you say heaven, that's how I feel. Yeah. But if somebody else thinks heaven of something else, and I think that's where the miscommunication is sometimes with beliefs, because
absolutely.
I think
we're
hung up on the words versus what the meaning is.
But having different opinions doesn't mean,
because I try not to
right,
say God.
No, yes, it's all interpretive.
Yeah, so I just think, for me, like, I completely disagree with JD on something. Doesn't mean I'm not learning something. Doesn't mean I'm not picking something up on this.
I just, for the layman's out there, I look at it as the word there. So they all have the same pronunciation, but there's different variations of spelling and usage of that word. And I don't know where I'm going with this. Well, but does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's everybody's interpretation of the word.
And I try not to use the word God because of the religious connotation connection to it. And when I want to get my point across, I want people to know that I'm spiritual, not religious. Mm-hmm. And so I try to say the universe instead of saying God, because I believe that the universe is God. God is the universe, like opposed to.
What I do know is that you and I, our paths have crossed too many times in several years.
100%.
And there's a reason.
We're meant to do that.
Yeah, and
even if it's for this, like to come together for this moment.
And prove your house is haunted.
And so far, we have not had any activity, but I don't see us filming out there tonight.
No, that's all happening in here.
Okay, so no one did. Are we having experiences in here? I'm not aware of.
It's still going off.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah. I'm more focused on my friend Matt.
The problem is we can't lift it up so the camera can see.
Yeah. It's unless it's on film, it's a bullshit story. So go ahead. You're going to say something.
I'm interrupting you.
What I'm saying, when I go to my Maker or go be with my mom, I know I'm running into Matt again.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think our souls many times throughout many past lives have come into each other, because and I explain it, like I describe it like this, and I don't think it's mind blowing. I think everyone would probably agree with who believes it. But when you meet somebody and you just feel like how the fuck, like we feel like best buds. Like to me, that is souls meeting up again from past lives. And so I've had that experience with probably a handful of people. Godsey, you're one of them, where it's just like. Aww. Like there's an explanation. I can't tell you what the explanation is, but we always, as gay as it sounds, we always find each other. You know what I mean? We do. He has to get really close to touch line, and my belly's in the way. He's not even that.
So can I ask you? Yeah. You may not have heard of this, but. Do you believe in the possibility of simulation theory?
100%. I wouldn't be shocked if we're in a simulation right now. Like,
I like that.
I know you do because that's your thing.
I mean, I can't explain it other than shit just feels simulated. I mean, it just feels like it's.
Yeah. But going back to like the soul thing, I've had the experiences where you run across somebody really young. When you talk to them, it's like you're talking to an old guy. Like, like my grandma was that way, even when she was always old to me, but when you talk to her, just at ease, wealth of knowledge, made you feel, and it's like, it makes you wonder about how our past,
Can I cut in there? Can that be explained away by perception? So she may have your grandma, right? Mm-hmm. So as a young person, she felt, even though she was maybe like our age, like a world of knowledge, calm, demeaned, knowledgeable, and all that stuff. But it's because she is compared to you. Does that make sense?
No, because I've met some younger people than me come across like
dumbasses.
Well, no, other way. Instead of being a dumbass, of being a 20, that they come across as wise and older than what they should be. Especially when you start looking at like it's one thing like if they've had a hard life and they've done a bunch of stuff before that. It's like you find out like they've been taken care of and went to college, but college generally doesn't make you feel wise when you talk to certain people. But I mean, it just those combinations that make me wonder if soul or whatever.
A new soul or a soul that's just beginning.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way.
Well, it's like meeting somebody really old and going, how are you still alive?
Well, I know people like that. I kind of on the other side of, I love my mom to death. She gave me life. I feel like she is a new soul. Whereas myself, I feel like my soul has been around for a while. Just based off of, she's I love her. I'm not talking shit about her, but she doesn't question anything. Like she's just she doesn't like. There's no. She does what she's always been told. She believes whatever she's been told. There's none of that. Okay,
second guessing.
No questioning anything, and that's how I was also raised, which is what, in my opinion, fucked me up until, but again, you go back to, I've had to go through that to get to where I am now, and so, like, I'm not, man that you are. But I can see where I feel like my soul was older than my parents' souls.
Yeah, there's a disparity.
Yeah, like, just on how you, and so, I agree with that. I think there are, I do feel like there are different levels.
That's interesting. I have my son. You guys both know. Been on our podcast a few times. Little Dave.
Okay, that
if you will.
You say something. You got two of them. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
To me,
he's an old soul.
He's an old soul.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, from childhood, he loved history. There was something about history that brought him, and he could relate to it, and he can break things down, and for not only for Dad to understand, but for other people around, and be able to talk to you on your level.
Teacher,
and he's able to talk to you on
history teacher.
and he's able to talk to you on your level.
Yeah, no, he does.
To me, I think he's an old soul.
And I would agree with that. And it's
I
a
relate
rare talent.
I relate to that because as a child, I loved being around my grandparents. I loved being around. Like I used to go to church with my grandparents, and I would just fucking sit there, and I would hear my grandpa talk to his friends at church, and I could interject and have a conversation with them. But then I could go and I could have a conversation with my peers or people that were younger, or so I feel like I understand that. Like I've never been just a same age, like, oh, I can only relate to people my age. Like always, I can have a conversation with anybody regardless of age, race, I mean creed. It doesn't like anything, rich, poor, like. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if it's because he was raised by my mom, because me and my wife both worked all the time, and my mom was always around him. So I don't know if that's.
Well, I mean, if she had him a lot, then absolutely,
maybe that was part of it as well.
Do you think your mom was an old soul?
My mom. How I can describe my mom? She was the most loving person in my life. All I had was my mom. Me and my dad did not have a great connection, nor did I have one with my brothers and sister. But I did with my mom. But I can tell you without a doubt in my mind, my mom was the bravest person I have ever met in my life. I saw her take beatings to save someone, and she did that her whole life. For her sister, my mom had a horrible childhood. And I'm probably not good for the podcast to get into, but she had a horrible childhood.
People like real shit.
Huh?
I said people like real shit, so I think it's good for
it.
I agree. But I mean, I think that leans towards an older soul, because she knew. You do. I mean, if you don't know what that affects somebody, most people that are very compassionate, that take care of you, they generally, when you're because you feel comfortable around them,
she feared nothing, and she would just take whatever it took to protect somebody. And everybody, when we worked at the same location for a few years, everybody loved her. She called everybody hun. And she, hey hun, how are you doing today? Did you need something? And she was just always taking care of it. And so, I would say so. And to this day, I mean, just people tell me,
she was a nurturer.
She really was. Yeah.
I think
I call people hun, and I don't mean to do that sometimes. I'll be around, hey hun, can I get? I'm like, hey, sorry, I didn't mean that. Today's are different times. You gotta watch what you say.
Too.
I'm like, I really apologize.
Right.
I mean nothing by that. But
those aren't my pronouns.
My mom threw that in me. So anyway, not to get off subject, I apologize.
Well, the reason why I brought that up was, I think an old soul can affect somebody. Like you said, if Dave was raised by a lot of her, a lot of that wisdom kind of goes into that person.
Yeah, their codes.
She picks up. I mean, he picks up on that. Like, I mean, it's embedded in him because at that young age, they're very impressionable.
Yeah.
So when you have that, I mean,
because
you're going to be like that.
It makes you think if the people that have that type of quality, if their codes longer and been reconstructed more times than the people that aren't like that are basically new programs, new codes, and they don't have those refinements.
In the simulation world, absolutely.
So
even in a non-simulation world, if we're truly rehashing ourselves through our souls, reliving, trying to learn to get better, to get to a higher level, same thing.
Yeah.
Whether simulation or reincarnation or whatever. Your soul's coming back. You're coming back to learn something new
that you haven't learned yet in past lives.
Mine's calculus.
I think that's going to be. You're going to be here for a while.
I think that's what the healing is that people talk about. You can't move forward until you heal something
spiritually,
or just something in like.
Sometimes my quips just come out before I can even think of it.
So before I get to my next question, I just wanted to throw this out there that there's a fascinating action movie that was recently released with Mark Wahlberg called Infinite.
Fascinating?
The topic of it was fascinating, and these people are called infinites. So they die but they have the capability of, they come back and they remember exactly everything in previous lives that have happened to them. That's why they're called infinites, because they have infinite knowledge of all the previous.
What a great show!
Great action movie. But I wanted to throw one thing out there real quick that I have noticed. It only lights up when Matt's talking.
Most of the time.
I don't know how to correlate that one yet. I'm just throwing that out there. Interesting. But I wanted to.
He hasn't been paying attention either.
I know. I have been. Like, I know you have been too. Matt asked Dave a good question that
I never answered.
No, you answered it.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to get both of yours answers to that, because I think it would be an interesting comparison where he asked you what are the goals for your existence.
Yeah.
And
I got a question to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Do you guys? You guys feel like?
What do you mean, you guys?
Do you guys ever, like, throughout life, have you felt like you guys are meant for something more?
Every day.
Something big. Like, you just feel like something just. And I can't even. I have other than just saying something bigger. Like, have you ever, do you guys feel that? Have you ever felt that throughout your life?
Can I answer
Absolutely. I'd like all three of you to answer.
Fuck you guys.
He feels like he should have been with McDonald's as a mascot.
Aww. I think you're beautiful.
I have a lot of self-conscious issues and doubt and all that stuff. So every day that I have lived, you don't think about this when you're a kid or teenager or anything like that, but as an adult, every day I feel like no matter what I've done, and I've done a lot. Like, I've been doing the paranormal for 15 years. I've written several books.
We're going to another one.
Jeez, you guys are all smart.
Yeah. But I constantly feel like I've done nothing in this life to be worthwhile. I've contributed nothing to the betterment of society. Does that kind of answer your question?
Ooh, the imposter.
But I feel like I need to.
That kind of feels like, and I'm not trying to.
No, have at it.
Answer.
Diagnose you.
Right, because I'm obviously.
No, I've never been probed.
We think.
Then I guess that
there's a possibility.
My next question's off the table. That sounds more like and you said it at first. You said self-conscious, but I think you meant self-confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Sorry,
more
that's what I meant.
No, you're fine. Is that... it seems like
That's whiskey talking.
Like a self...
It's your
not believing in yourself.
It's your talking. It's going off.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Keep it on. It's probably your spirit guardian.
It could be.
And trying to give you...
Influence. Because I need that a lot. Yeah. I need... trying to find words. It seems like more of a self-confidence, where like low self-esteem, type thing, more so.
But it's also the fact that I feel like I need to do something, that I'm meant to do something, I just haven't done it yet.
I think you're doing it now.
Do you have any idea what that may be?
I don't.
No clue.
I think you're tapping into it now.
But does that? I mean, it's kind of
answers
the question.
I can't. I can't answer how you feel like,
but I feel like I do need to do something,
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
but I feel like I haven't done it yet.
Right? No, I get that. How about you guys?
Pooping.
Well, that's coming up later.
For me, I probably have more now that I'm at my age. Not like when I was younger, I felt like I was destined to do something. I was pretty driven and all that. As I've gotten older, I have more regrets on that I didn't go into certain fields. So, I did electronics in the Navy. I did some Air National Guard stuff that was, it was just EOD training, explosive ordnance disposal, and then I did electronics and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I ended up going to industrial automation, is what my background actually is. I program machines. I can do integration for whole plant floors and the more I do that, my youngest son has started getting into medical. What is it? It's called. I'm trying to think what the term is, but it's basically biomechanical, which is the medical field of automation for amputees and heart transplants. And I'm like, the more I see him do that, makes me feel like maybe I should have shifted to that. Because like I don't make food and mass produce stuff, but thinking back of what I could have been doing with what I can do, I feel like some of that might have been wasted. Like I could have probably made a bigger impact had I been doing something else. Because like I do a wide range of stupid stuff.
Can I hit you from a different angle real quick?
I'm sorry.
Is it possible? And this is just a question. Obviously, again, I'm not. I think Dave would remember. I used to be a huge Tupac fan.
Yes, that's correct.
Still,
and we would talk. I would try to talk to you about it.
We would.
And I was an
we would
idiot.
listen.
He's still alive.
He lives in the Virgin Islands.
But he always said in an interview, and it always stuck with me. He goes, "I may not change the world, but somebody who hears my music is going to change the world." Do you think that maybe your purpose in life was to do what you did to get your son to go to the route he goes, and he's going to change the world in some way? And your role was to do what you did, and he could piggyback off that and go.
Dude, I got goosebumps because I was going to ask the exact same question. That's
He's still going to
freaking
ask the exact same question.
No, but that's creepy.
Right.
Like,
see, and to me,
that's weird.
To me, that's the spirit working, the soul, like everything, like
I love it.
coming together.
I love that, Matt.
For that, like.
Yeah, I got fucking goosebumps.
So, like, I
think we all. I think we all
cold,
have
too.
purpose. When I say that, I think we all have multiple purposes. Like if you could, ideally, if everything went right, you'd do this great thing. But the reality of it is, you hit this level or this level, like like you said, am I doing what I'm doing, what I'm saying, influencing my son, or am I influencing my son so he can influence somebody else? Because it's that
It's a
butterfly effect type things.
Right,
Yeah.
So I want to build on that. If you're looking at a spiritual entity that is master of all, right, and he's judging on
There's no judgment.
No, I know, but
you laugh, but I agree with that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yes, I know what you're getting at.
Is the life compilation of small accomplishments less, equal to, or greater than that one big world-changing accomplishment?
I think it comes down to the number of people that you affect. 'Cause I like the measure of you as a person or whatever, when whatever religion you believe in, how you're going to be weighed and measured. You could do one major thing that can affect all of mankind, right? Like you saved mankind. Yeah, that's impressive. But you just saved it. Maybe you were a preacher and you touched 20 people. Those 20 people, or 12 disciples, go out and change
12 people each.
12 people each.
12 people each.
I think.
Okay.
I think there's. Einstein was a brilliant man, and the theories that he came up with are very impressive.
Excuse me.
But I would have to. I think from him, his presence and how he's influenced people has probably been a greater impact than his theory of relativity and everything else.
Now,
I don't think the universe, and I'm only going to say because the words you used,
Yeah.
I don't think the universe counts as in you said a bunch of little things or one big thing. I don't think the universe looks at it like that. I think the universe is you did this to change, you did this to change. It's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because what I was getting at was not necessarily
Who
like
got the high score. I know.
What? Yeah, I wasn't looking at like saving the world and then a preacher. So what I was getting at was like someone saves the world. They did this great thing for mankind. But this other person was just the best mother anybody could have asked for, did everything for her children and loved her children and made sure that they were the best possible versions of themselves, and that's all they did.
I think it's equal.
Okay, that's fair.
I think it's equal. In the eyes of
absolutely.
you, we are the ones, humans, man, I believe, is the one that puts the limitations of.
Fair, yeah.
Is this greater than this? I think the universe just. You did good.
Yeah.
Like you
think
made positive change.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to push buttons. It's just fascinating.
No, absolutely.
I think it's humankind that puts that I want to be remembered for eons. It has some clout. We put that on.
That I have on myself.
Like, so you have that on yourself. That
we all have that.
I mean, I think it's innate. But the reality of it is, if your son, child, friend's son remembers you going forward and was a positive influence that helped them. I think that's
if they change somebody's life based off of something you did.
Yep.
Like that's the connect.
Yeah.
You know.
And maybe that's what you're meant for, was to have a 5-minute conversation with somebody you met on the street, that they said the same thing that you said to somebody else. That may have been the key spark that you were meant to do.
And they were about to kill themselves.
Yep.
And would have never made that connection to somebody else, who then saved somebody else's life by using it.
Because
and maybe deja vu is the reset because you effed up and you had to redo your save file.
Because I look at it even one further, that the person that saves the world is equal to a dog that comes into someone's life that was about ready to commit suicide and shows them what love truly is and saves them. They're equal to that dog now because it has affected and changed and made a positive impact on a human.
And this is where I think dog...
Is that wrong of me?
No, because...
No, I think a soulless dog should be able to do that.
See, and I was about to say that... we're the ones that say dog. The universe just sees a soul. So whether the dog...
Or entity.
Right. Like, so the universe put that soul in place to save another soul, which will then go save another soul, which will go... You know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
So we say, it's just a dog, showed a human love. It's not a dog that showed a human love. It's that soul that showed that soul some love, and...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to...
I know.
What's going on?
No.
I thought you were going, because I said...
That's what I thought, too.
I was like, I'm not poking at you.
No, what I think you just said is amazing. And I love that. I love that idea. I truly do. So I'm gonna say.
How about you?
You know how I am. I say absolutely not negative. I'm gonna say
it's not.
I'm at a possible.
Yeah, it's a
there's
possibility.
a possibility.
Yeah. Maybe it's just
open-minded. That's all. That's all.
What if that was part of your soul? That's why that dog connects with you.
Well, maybe.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean,
So, what about you?
That part of your soul was broken off from a traumatic event, and it found its way back to you.
Well, technically, we're all connected that way. I mean, well, depending on what religion, I think
He's got a bigger connector than I do.
I think he's got a bigger connector than most people.
I would like to hear your.
Well, I
answer your question.
I want to know your question. Your answer.
you got to do
and,
yours.
and then I'll answer.
Then he'll.
So, what's the original question? Because we kind of went on different levels here.
Have you ever have you gone through life feeling like
There's more.
I meant to do something
more,
just great. Not even more, just something great that and there's no wrong answer.
No,
there's
I agree.
Except for
There
yours.
probably isn't. Mine's going to be wrong. We probably need to take a break.
If you say soul is
another drink.
Yeah, we're trying to throw you a bone.
No pun intended, right?
He doesn't need any more bones.
He's got enough for all of us.
So, honestly, gentlemen,
Ooh, using that term loosely there.
Yeah.
well, it's just you guys don't know a lot of my history. You know a lot of it, I should say. Where I came from, what I've had, I've always wanted more. Okay, because just never had anything.
But I think everybody could say that.
Yeah, but I want to.
Now, wanted more or feel like you
Need
are
more.
meant for something more?
No, I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Without sounding like an ass.
So, we grew up in South Kansas City. We had no money. For whatever reason, my dad had an amazing job. He worked on coded devices for nuclear warheads to keep them from detonating. My mom was a baker.
Sounds pretty important.
Yeah, which is, which
I did not know that.
Which I was going to talk about in our next podcast.
Okay.
Which we got coming up. Yeah. Hopefully tonight. I always thought I was meant for more, but I could never understand why I couldn't achieve it. Something always seemed to block what my goals were. Even when I was raising my kids, I'm like, I wanted that for them. Why didn't that happen? Now looking back, I'm very blessed. I'm very whole with myself now. I always thought I was meant for something extravagant, big, world champion,
Right.
whatever. Whatever my goal was, I just knew I had that in me, but for some reason it never happened. Usually because of dumb mistakes. Growing up on the streets, doing dumb stuff, not really having guidance like you want to give your kids, right? I just didn't have that. So I just made a lot of mistakes, and I didn't start maturing until like 38 years old. And I started maturing.
I think that's just being a man.
Yeah, it could be. I
mean, look at me. I'm 41. Still not mature.
If I look back now, I am so satisfied with everything I've done.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Now, I'm going to say though, having heard your stories from back then, even when you said you were a knucklehead,
yeah,
you always seem in your stories. You always seem to stand up for the weak, and I say weak, and I'm not talking like
less fortunate or whatever.
Not even that. People who were bullied, people who were picked on.
Yeah,
you weren't a bully.
Yeah.
You stood up for those against the bully.
Yeah.
So even when you were being a knucklehead, you still had that good heart.
Yeah.
You were still taking care of people who couldn't necessarily take care of themselves.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge.
It is.
I mean, that's huge. As somebody that was bullied a lot, I never had anybody stand up for me, and so when I used to hear you talk about those stories, like to me that showed me, even as a 22-year-old man, when I was, when we worked together, what kind of person you were. And so, like, you always said you were a knucklehead. And I'm like, this motherfucker's not a knucklehead. Oh. He's out here a fucking superhero, saving people who are being bullied and stuff like that. So, even when you were a knucklehead, you still had a huge heart.
Well, I appreciate that.
And standing up for people that couldn't stand up for themselves, that's fucking huge. And I guarantee you've affected their lives in a huge way.
Well, I
appreciate I guarantee it.
And I look at it too is that you always felt like something was stopping you from achieving like the greatness that you were thinking you had in you. I look at it as the universe was just limiting that because they knew that that's not what you were ultimately meant for, to take you off of that mindset that you had so that you could eventually get back onto the right path that you were supposed to follow. Is that a possibility?
I think it's all possibility. I appreciate you saying that. It's very kind. I truly mean that.
Universe understands intent.
Yeah.
They know the intent of your heart.
Yes, that's what I was going
Not necessarily we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made tons of mistakes.
I just gotta quit making them.
We're never going to stop making them. That's the thing. It's the intent of which those mistakes are made. I have hurt tons of people in my life. I can honestly sit here and say not one of them was ever ill-intended. I never meant to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So I think the universe, and this has gone a long way in me, in my healing process, in my growth of spirituality, realizing and learning that I fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm the bad guy in multiple people's stories.
Yeah.
But it was never intentional.
Yeah.
Ever. I never hurt anybody. Ever. I never went into a situation saying, I'm gonna fuck this person's emotions up or their head up or whatever it may be. And I think that's more important than the mistakes itself.
Well, I can't tell you to define my life when I am with my family, my boys, their wives now, holy cow, and my grandkid, when grandkid come, I am at so much peace and just complete I'm okay. Does that make sense?
100%. You did your job.
Yeah.
And you still, I can't imagine what kind of grandparent you are. I bet you're the best grandpa. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll see.
I just
We'll
don't. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, and of course I'm not you, so I can't tell you how you feel. But from the outside looking in,
Sorry,
I think the mic picked that one up.
It's like all the mics picked that one.
That picked it up.
Well, don't concentrate on like open flames. We're gonna be okay.
But yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but
Whatever's affecting light also said F you because the lights went up.
Yeah, because your ass just went in a different realm.
Sorry.
Dimensional.
dimension. I'm about to say dimension shift.
that's what Kansas City barbecue does to you.
So, if we're good, let's wrap that up.
Yep.
We'd like for you to stay for if you have time.
Yeah.
Well,
You got something you want to add? We got
Let's-
Really? Do you think he's got something to add?
So, question 1, part B.
yeah. Let's take a quick break for 1 second, and when we get back, we'll close this out with a topic and a
45
question that I have for Matt that we had discussed on another break. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks.
Looking forward to that. I missed out on something.
Welcome back to the closeout of this episode with our fabulous guest, Matt, discussing basically everything.
The universe itself.
Yeah.
It's the best topic.
So, before we get into it, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, the cinnamon stuff's better diluted. So, while we were on break...
I'm just a cinnamon guy, I guess.
Damn, it's strong cinnamon. It's way, like, Fireball is like pussy.
I was recommending you guys.
It is
that.
better than the Buffalo Trace.
It's still whiskey, though.
Smoother. Yeah, but you can still taste the whiskey.
So,
It's whiskey. It's kind of weird like that.
whiskey makes me frisky.
Oh, Dave. OG's now wondering whether or not Buffalo Trace is as good
Well,
as...
yeah,
stay with
Jameson.
Buffalo Trace because that's a lot more money.
No, it's not.
That was $54. That
Buffalo Trace is more expensive than that.
Oh, no shit. I thought the Black Barrel was
I'm not a drinker, though, so, like...
So normally Buffalo Trace you should be able to find for about $30.
I'm thinking Jim Beam
I
Black.
paid 54
Yeah.
for that.
That's the
Ooh,
expensive
that's
stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like
Jim Beam?
$300-$400.
Jim Beam Black is not super expensive, but I mean,
Is it good?
it's okay.
It's okay.
Like I said, that's about $30. That's one of the hardest bottles to beat for that price range to me. But also, like, I got my Sazerac Rise. I got a whole bunch of stuff. But that's one of the first ones I've ever picked up that I literally drank on the rocks with no mixer, and that bottle went and gone way faster than I was anticipating.
And see,
Well,
I drink candy corn whiskey, butterscotch whiskey.
This is why I smoke weed. I got sativa or indica. Yeah, that's all I got to choose from.
I really like my peach crown with tea.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
It's fantastic. It's like you're drinking a peach tea. And I like my blackberry with Sprite.
Yeah, that's
My
good too.
blackberry.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I mixed
Yeah.
the butterscotch.
Are we not supposed to be cussing on here?
No,
Oh,
we
no,
can't.
yeah,
I was going to say, bro, I've
no,
been cussing all the time.
Bleep, 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 bleep,
I mixed the
bleep.
butterscotch.
I just gotta watch myself in case I get into the rhythm of doing that all the time.
I got you.
If I'm in a meeting and I start saying fuck, oh, you don't know shit from me. I'm like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
Guys.
see, I work in a one-man warehouse,
Yeah.
so I can say whatever the fuck I want.
No, I can't. And I had told my boss to fuck off.
Having some troubles over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I want to be
Set
able
it
to have
behind
my-
your microphone stand.
Problem is the mic.
Turn that phone upside down.
The microphone.
There you go.
Get me fucking anxiety, dude.
Anyway, so I wanted to close this episode out.
Oh, are we back?
Yeah, we've been back.
Okay, Mac, you took a shot. That's what the shot was for.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
We had talked about on the break when we were eating dinner, which was fabulous, by the way. Sneed's barbecue. Ooh-bee. I don't know why it's doing that. It's all the way up to red. Talked about possibly doing the
that's weird.
ayahuasca.
The camera
Strip.
focuses in and out.
Hell yeah.
I asked my friend Jason what the drug was that people would have visions of like themselves in another life for 20 years, but then it had only been 5 minutes, or that they remember themselves being a ceiling fan in an apartment for
Right.
40 years. Peyote.
Peyote.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's North American.
I would like us to do eventually whatchamacallit, where we go and do a controlled with is it a shaman?
Yeah, it's a whole
Holy man
ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So
in.
we'll do a podcast.
Yes!
So we'll do a podcast.
My oldest son wants to do it too.
We'll do a podcast of Matt doing the peyote before we do
I will
that.
100% do it.
They're going to see videos of
fund it.
like
I'll
Paranormal
fund that.
running around the desert with no pants on going, T-Rex!
If my crypto ever blows up, that's on the new teeth, and ayahuasca is my two.
Oh, speaking of which, there's a recent documentary movie that came out called Bitcoined about I can't remember the Centra card that the guys were trying to develop for people to use like a debit card with their crypto.
Nice.
Total sham. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. Like these guys were.
I don't know shit about crypto. I know the one that I'm in, but other than that, like
you should watch it. It's phenomenal.
I'm just hoping it takes off, and then I can, because ayahuasca's fucking top of my list of one.
That's South America, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Liz and I would like to have a sit down talk with you because we want to get into that.
Ayahuasca.
I was like, wow.
Let's do it.
Learn something new here.
I don't know shit about it, so but I mean I know what I'm in, and I know what the one I'm in is supposed to do. But you never know with that shit, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Was there a question with that, or
no? I just wanted to see if you guys would be down.
We literally stopped for that.
Yeah, we did.
Fuck yeah!
I'm a dick.
I'm all in for the ayahuasca.
They agree.
Oh, the spirits want to do ayahuasca too.
Well, I still want to do regression, so.
I feel like the ayahuascas want me. No.
Oh,
my spirits want me to do the ayahuasca.
Dream regression.
Yeah.
Past life regression therapy.
Yeah.
I want to
have recurring dreams.
They hypnotize you and you learn, like, if you've had experiences that you can't remember.
Man, I have such a hard time buying into hypnotism just because I don't feel like I would be.
Some people are not hip.
I don't feel like I would be. Like my alert would be up and I would be trying to.
You'd be putting up barricades.
I don't know what that means, but
walls.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But I've done readings like I don't know what you guys feel about tarot readings. And
I
shit
think
like
it's interesting.
That. But I've never done one. I've done past readings like for my past lives, and here I'm gonna tell you. I know you guys are wanting to switch gears real quick.
No, this is what we want to talk about. This is what we're for.
But what's funny is me and my girlfriend have been together now for 12 years. We've always said she's the man in the relationship and I'm the female. I'm the emotional one. She's not. She's the money maker. I'm not. Like she builds shit with her hands. I can't build a box with four. I can't do shit. So it's funny because I went to this past life reader, and sure as shit, 2 of my 3 past lives, I was a fucking female. And so it's funny because we always talk about that, where like I was a princess, and like because we always say that I'm the woman in the relationship and she's the man. I went to Worlds of Fun. Well, no, not Worlds of Fun. What's that place up KCK? Throwback Times. What the fuck is that called?
The Renaissance Fair?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. The Renaissance Festival, and I had my
palm
read by some older lady. Mm-hmm. And she was just she was talking about all these soft and sensitive things. Like, I'm like, are you calling me a bitch? Like, are you saying I was a woman in my past life? And she said, yeah. She goes, according to you were a woman in your past life. And so it's funny because every time I get a reading of some sort for past lives, they always talk about how I was a woman.
That's funny.
And it's funny because me and my girlfriend have always said she's the man in the relationship and I'm the chick.
I can totally see that.
That's interesting.
I don't mean
no,
I know.
Sure, you know.
I'm very.
I'm not telling my boy. I'm
more sensitive. Like I'm more on the sensitive side. Where why don't you want to hang out with me, or like why don't we do things? Like I'm a bitch when it comes to that stuff.
I am too.
It's funny how all that ties in together with that stuff, and so it's funny. So
yeah, because
bitches be tripping.
We do. We do be tripping.
When I send a text, I always like to respond to things like instantly. And when
someone does it bothers you.
Yes, it does. And I'm not trying to
That
be
shit irritates
No,
me.
because I don't. Sometimes I don't
Thank
respond
you.
quickly.
Oh my god, I'm like, bro, I know you
Half a
got your
day
fucking
later.
phone on you.
Especially when you can see and it says red.
Yeah.
And you're
bro,
like,
just at least
motherfucker.
just say something like, hey, I'll respond later.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have
Something.
time. Yeah.
Acknowledge my goddamn text.
Oh my god.
Thank you. I thought I was the only one
No,
that felt
I'm
that
the
way.
same way because I respond instantly to everything.
Some of my friends have said,
In my
I don't know
past
how
life,
you.
I was a bitch.
I need a shirt like that.
Some of my friends will reply to me and be like, I don't know how you responded to that so fast because I just sent it. And it's like a paragraph response.
Right.
And I'm like,
You know what? That makes sense with the whole past life woman thing because really all I have is an enlarged clip.
Whoa!
So that makes sense as to like the physical aspect too.
PG-13 warning.
Oh my bad. Look, I'm kind of liquored up. I haven't drinking in a long time.
It's all good. No, we
So
want you to be
liquored
you.
up.
I'll be honest.
This is me.
This is why we do
me.
this.
But this is literally the whole premise of this podcast is chumming with the spirits. Is we drink, we start talking, and one topic leads to another. And
100%.
Yeah, and then now we're talking.
And of course, this loosens you up a little bit too.
Well, and I told him, I go, guys, I don't think I should drink anymore. And JD said, "Oh no, you need to keep drinking." I'm like, I'm getting stupid. They go, no, we want this.
otherwise it's just going to be me and JD going, blah, 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 and he's going to be sitting there going,
And you're not going to enjoy that.
yeah.
I've been the babysitter for drunk people, and the shit's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn, man, give me a drink.
I have to admit, I think this has been the funnest podcast, and I'm not trying to be mean, since Juan.
Okay.
Like discussion.
I watched that one. That one. That,
Yeah,
that was
good.
that was a good one.
Yeah, one did well.
And I'll tell you what,
Just
the only
random
thing I can
topics
ever
is what
think
I'm
about
saying.
him, I've never met you once, so no offense, is his big old schlong that
Yeah.
you used to tell me about.
It was frightening. It was like Godzilla.
That's what you
It
said.
was
You're like,
horrible.
stay away from my wife.
I did.
And he lived with you.
So when
He
he
woke up and
when he calls me when I'm on my way to work, he goes, "Hey man, what are you doing today? Are you going to work?" I'm like, "No, I'm hanging out in the home. Why? What the fuck do you want?"
I'm staying here with the wife, bitch. Do not go over.
You are not coming over.
So
You keep that silo to yourself.
thank you guys for watching. If any of this struck, not a nerve, but
Probably
I'm
did a
pretty
couple
sure
of-
that happened.
if it struck a thought with you that anything related to you and you want to share your story with us, please let us know. Because
Or leave a message. Tell us what you think,
I see that.
and maybe we'll read one once in a while
That paragraph.
Yeah, I comment.
why are you looking at me?
because you're in charge of that. And you have not been reading this stuff.
No, because I've been editing and I'm just fucking with you.
I did comment.
trying to make
on
myself
YouTube.
look good.
I know. I just
Yeah,
haven't
no one
had time.
answered it back.
What,
I mean,
what
that's-
was your comment? Let's
The comment was, Godsey, are you serious? You don't believe,
Yeah,
you don't think
souls.
animals have souls?
It was the one I showed you, and you're like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "I'm
says
assuming
my
it's your
name.
friend."
No. You showed me one from Rob Smith from work.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say,
Have a good night. Thank you
So,
for
thanks,
coming with
guys.
Be
us.
safe.